Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube universe, what is going on with you on this Tuesday afternoon? It is Tuesday, November 14th, 2023, roughly 2:30 p.m. California time. I'm, of course, your always gracious host, Fallon from GoNootropics.com, coming at you with the chamomile chairs. Hope you all are doing well. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for cruising through. Today we are talking about society, baby. Society, are we getting dumber, ladies and gentlemen? You let me know, because sometimes it's hard for me to tell if I'm on the right page when I go out and I see a lot of people doing dumb stuff. I look at all the cars. You know, you go outside, you go into a parking lot, every car's banged up. I've noticed these days. Every car's banged up, you know. Rare is a car that I see that is not banged up in some way. I'm seeing these accidents, you know. I'm a cyclist. I see people doing dumb stuff all the time in their cars, getting too close to cyclists on the road, running into each other. And it seems like this is like a reoccurring occurrence that is happening more frequently. People losing consciousness, people losing their sense of awareness. You go to the store, the shopping carts are all banged up, baby. The shopping carts. You know, forget about the cars. Every car you see is all banged up, fender benders, people like backing into stuff, but the shopping carts at the stores, I'm noticing are all banged up. When we go to the store nowadays, it seems like there's more occurrences of, homeless people kind of losing it, more people screaming in the streets, more people unaware, you know, people in the middle of the aisle, they got their shopping cart in the middle of the aisle. They're looking at something to buy on the shelf. You're trying to get past. They're clueless. They're unconscious. Are you guys noticing more of this, or is this just something that is happening in my area? All the cars are banged up. People not paying attention. People running red lights. We were just in a car accident last year. Some guy ran the red light. You know, he misjudged the distance. His light turned yellow. He misjudged the distance. I'm like, is this a IQ thing? You know, lately I've been into IQ. I've taken a number of these IQ tests online. You know, you could go online, free IQ test. Just Google it up. There's some good ones that are reputable. I think the Mensa is one I took. And I took a couple others. I tested in the average range, 107, you know. Here I was this whole time thinking, I'm this super genius, you know. You read these comments of people who have these high IQs. And they're like, yeah, I was in the GATE program growing up and this and that. I'm like, well, I was in the GATE program too. I don't think I'm that smart. So I'm like, you know what? Let me test my IQ to see if, you know, am I the only one out here in this world paying attention? Is my problem like I am so high IQ that I look at the people banging into each other. I look at their cars. Their cars are all banged up. I look at the shopping carts. The shopping carts are all banged up. Am I the only one here not banging my shopping cart into curbs and cars and crashing my car into things, backing up into people, you know? So I tested myself and I'm a 107, slightly above average, right? Slightly above average. And I recommend if you do test your IQ, it could really mess with your brain, man. If you think you're high IQ and you test low IQ, that can mess with your brain. On the flip side, if you think you're low IQ and you test high IQ, well, that can mess with your ego. So I recommend if you're on the fence about doing an IQ test, just to leave it alone. You're probably statistically average, right? But I tested myself, 107, slightly above the average. But I'm out here in society looking at some of the things people do, and I'm like, is this like a low IQ thing? Is this people unconscious? Me and Christine are out here riding our bikes, and I warn her when we come up to intersections that are like higher danger levels. Like when we're pulling up, and we're in a shopping center, and there's like a McDonald's, there's a Burger King. I've seen more incidents happen outside of the drive-through than I've seen everywhere. These are people going through the drive-through. You're already a person who's coming through the drive-through is already in lower conscious state. They're getting their Big Mac. They're coming out of the drive-through. They're not paying attention. They're so focused on the fast food. They're focused on wolfing down the burger, and they're not paying attention. So anytime we come up to a drive-through, like at a McDonald's or a Burger King or one of these fast food places, that's like a level 3 zone. There's 5 levels you got to pay attention to. And people they're out here not paying attention. Just, you look at the cars, they're all banged up. The shopping carts are all banged up. The other day, we're in the parking lot. There's people, and I don't know if this is like an IQ thing. This is like a low IQ thing. But the type of person that wants the front parking spot in the parking lot, so they see somebody who's coming out with their groceries. This person happens to have a good parking spot. They're unloading their groceries into their car, and this person is sitting there with their blinker on, waiting for this person to load their groceries and back up so they could take that spot. And I'm thinking, is this like a low IQ moment? Is this a person is this low IQ, or is this just somebody who doesn't care that they're putting pressure on this person? Is this a low IQ moment, or is this just a person who's selfish? Sometimes it's hard to tell. Is it like low IQ? They're driving a Nissan Altima. Their bumpers halfway torn off. They got their blinker on, waiting for this person to load up their groceries so they could get into the front spot. As if parking in a spot towards the back is so detrimental to their workflow. As if parking in the back is so detrimental, they got to sit there, hold up traffic with their blinker on, waiting for a person to pull out. Everybody's got to go around them. They're causing blockages in the artery of the roadway. And I don't know if these things are low IQ moments. These are, or if these are just people who are, just not conscious. These are low consciousness individuals. Nothing, if they can't see it, it's like it doesn't exist. They don't think of the people piling behind them, waiting for them because they're blocking up one of the lanes. Is this, you guys let me know, is this low IQ, or is this just like a person that just doesn't care? Just doesn't care, low consciousness. I don't know if that has anything to do with IQ, but I see these occurrences every day, biking around, people in near accidents all the time, people with their cars, their bumpers all banged up, their whole car's banged up, the paint is scratched off, the shopping carts are all banged up. People leave their shopping cart, it just rolls downhill into another car. Now the shopping cart's banged up. Now the car is banged up. They're sitting in the middle of the aisle at the store. Their cart is in the middle. Nobody could get by them. They're not conscious of the people who need to pass. And it used to be, these were like, I didn't see this type of stuff that often. But now these like low IQ moments, they tend to be cropping up more. They tend to be cropping up more. There's like more people doing these things. I don't know if it's the boosters. That's, the boosters are finally reaching like peak serum levels in the bloodstream. Is it the boosters? People are unconscious. They're going through the drive-thru at McDonald's. They're wolfing down their Big Mac. They're in this like very low consciousness state, and they're just not thinking. They're not thinking. So you guys let me know, is this something you guys notice too? Is this something that is happening in your neck of the woods? These quote low IQ moments, or am I just noticing it in my area and this is not happening anywhere else, right? This whole IQ thing. 107. I'm not a high IQ. I don't know if it has anything to do with like IQ versus conscientiousness. That's like a Jordan Peterson thing. If those two are related, like the person who's putting pressure on the other driver to load their groceries and back out so they could get in, is that a low IQ thing? I have no idea, but I'm seeing these moments in society. The other day, this guy getting his gas at the gas station, and he's blasting his music, and he can't hear the music loud enough. It's not loud enough to his ears, so he turns it up louder. Not only turns it up, but he opens all the doors, all 4 doors of his car, and not only that, but the trunk, right? So this guy's in the 7-Eleven gas station, opening up all of his doors because he can't hear his music. And now I'm seeing kind of the value of making money in this world. This is kind of where I'm at psychologically. Like, money for me is not, it's not a get nice things type of thing. I don't want the boat. I don't want the nice car. I don't want the big house. I don't want the yachts. But what money gives you is the ability to extract yourself from the zoo. It allows you to shop in nicer places. You think of Whole Foods versus Walmart, 2 totally different places. People with money shop at Whole Foods. Poor people shop at Walmart. And 2 totally different microcosms of society in those 2 places. If you've ever shopped at a Whole Foods versus Walmart, the types of people you run into at Walmart or one of these kind of like lower end grocery stores. You could say Lucky's, Safeway. We have those here in California. 2 totally different types of people. At Whole Foods, you don't get the people blocking the aisle with their carts. These are more conscientious people. These are people high anxiety at Whole Foods. You go into a Whole Foods, everybody's eyes are darting around, hyper vigilance. Right? At Whole Foods, very conscientious. They move their car to the side of the aisle so you can get through. Meanwhile, at Walmart, you have just these kind of animals lumbering around. Their cart is in the middle of the aisle. You can't get through, You can't get through. And you're thinking, you're sitting there with your cart thinking, do I have to actually speak to this person? I already don't like going out to the stores because of experiences like this. I don't like going to the stores. I don't want to have to ask the person to move their cart. I want to go into the store. I want to get my stuff and I want to get out of there. I want to get back home, to the safety of the confines of my apartment. Because it's just, it seems like it's getting crazier out there, So like money nowadays, I think I've had to shift. Right? It's like the money shift. Money is like not to buy nice things. Money is to move you into like a gated community where you're shielded from the animals of society, right? Like that's how I see money now. It's so you could shop at the stores where the person is not blocking the aisle. The people shopping at these places where you go are generally probably higher IQ. And, money gives you like a smoother workflow. It gives you the ability to go through the world more or less uninhibited. Yeah, there's going to be moments where you got to deal with these people. But if you have money, you can afford to live in a nice place, surrounded by nice people, surrounded by average to higher IQ people, right? Surrounded by people who aren't going to ram into your car. And so this is, I think, kind of the goal of the average to high IQ person is to put distance. That's what money does, is it puts distance between you and the zoo that is this world. And maybe I'm just being negative. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic. You guys let me know. How do you see the world? How do you see going out? How do you see the people? Are you looking at these people kind of like I do and thinking, what is going on? Is it the boosters? You look at a person and they kind of look like that fish from Super Mario. Is it Super Mario where you go underwater? And you see those fish just kind of like slowly going by, and they're dangerous if you hit them. You don't want to encounter the fish. They're basically like a non-threat in the game, but you certainly don't, you in the game, you swim under them because they're blocking your way. You have a goal, and the fish is just kind of swimming by in this kind of low consciousness state. And, money gives you the security from these types of people, from these types of, some of them are harmless, but when you're on the road and you have people driving two-ton cars, 1-ton, 2-ton cars, that person's dangerous. That low IQ person is dangerous. I was watching this video, this guy doing this video about how to work a clutch. This guy's in Europe. And I noticed the lights in Europe work differently. I don't know if he was in London or something. But here in America, we don't get the yellow light. Like if you're stopped at a red light, in other parts of the world, the light goes yellow first before it goes green. If you're stopped at a red, the light will go amber, yellow, before it turns green, letting you know here's a change that's coming. Here, that doesn't happen. That happens if it's a green light, but that does not happen if you're at, a red light. And I think it's that way because if we see a yellow light, probably half of us Americans would try to judge the traffic and go on a yellow. It's like one of those low IQ moments. So we don't get the yellow light here. We get red to green, because if it went red to yellow, you'd get a bunch of people trying to jump the gun early, causing accidents. And we know we don't need any more of those here. Once again, just look at the cars next time you go out, and you're going to notice half the cars are all banged up. People are backing into people. They don't see the tree. They don't see the curb. They're running over curbs. The side of their cars all scraped, and it's like these people are on the road. So are these low IQ moments? Are these low IQ people out there? Are we getting dumber? Are we getting dumber in the society? You let me know, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments. Fallon, GoNootropics.com. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you very soon. Peace.